Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Shannon Hughes, and we appreciate you joining us to learn more about Triumph, Tennessee Recruitment in Underrepresented Minorities for Professions of Health. We anticipate that this will only take 30 minutes of your time. If you have any questions, please email us at triumph@live.utk.edu. This project started off as a doodle that I drew up on a piece of paper. I was drawing circles around UTHSC Department of Physical Therapy and the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, and they were interconnected to each other by lines, and the lines represented mentoring and knowledge. As the admissions chair for the Department of Physical Therapy, I'm extremely aware of the lack of persons of color in our program and in our profession. I took my doodle to a few other physical therapy faculty members who share in the goal of increasing diversity within our DPT program, Dr. Kim Carter, Dr. Myra Meekins, and Dr. Carol Likens. We then put our heads together and began the framework for this initiative. We knew we wanted to apply for the 1UT grant with this initiative, and it would be more successful at gaining funding if we had other professions side by side with us. So Dr. Stephanie Lancaster from Occupational Therapy and Dr. Erin Fink from Speech Language Pathology joined our team. We submitted the project in February of 2020 and were awarded the grant in May. We were one of over 300 projects to submit and the only sole UTHSC-based project accepted. Myra is going to talk to you about the project and its aims. Kim will review our timeline and expectations of mentors, and Erin will go over our long-term goals and longevity of the project. Stephanie will cover commonly asked questions, and then Carol is going to give you some final information. We're going to first define diversity as it relates to Triumph. We recognize that diversity has many meanings, especially related to the different professions represented at UTHSC and specifically the College of Health Professions. For our initiative, we define diversity in underrepresented groups using UTK's definition. This is self-selected Hispanic of any race, American Indian or Alaskan Native, Black or African American, and 2 or more races.
So let's talk about the problem. Racial and ethnic minority groups nationwide account for 40% of the U.S. population. However, here at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, if we look at physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech language pathology graduate programs, that same racial and ethnic minority group is less than 5%. Next slide, please. So, why is this a problem? It's a problem because diverse health professionals are essential to the reduction of health disparities. Research indicates that healthcare professionals that are from similar race and ethnic minority groups are more likely to serve patients of color, indigent, poor, needy patients, and work in medically underserved communities, as well as patients are more likely to report receiving preventative care, medical care, and greater satisfaction with care from health care providers that share their racial and ethnic background. Next slide, please. So while there are individual programs throughout our system that address certain issues that are important for persons of color, what we found is a lack of support that is continuous academically, socially, and financially, and specifically structured mentoring. So, when we look at the research, when we anecdotally talk to undergraduate students, undergraduate advisors, lack of structured mentoring has found to be a key issue. Okay. And lots of people are doing things in these small silos, but there doesn't seem to be a structured program that meets them early in their education introduction to the university, meaning undergraduate education, to continuing on to their application to a graduate health program here at UT. Next slide, please. We intend to address the lack of diversity in healthcare through the development of a program we have named Triumph, the Tennessee recruitment to increase underrepresented minorities into professions of health. And so this program will serve as a pipeline to increase underrepresented minority admissions from UT Knoxville into the physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech language and pathology programs here at University of Tennessee Health Science Center. It will offer academic, social, and financial support, but most importantly, it will involve mentoring. Next slide, please. So we ask that you all consider mentoring. Research has shown that it's been beneficial in the successful transition of undergraduates interested into healthcare into health-related graduate programs. And so mentoring can consist of advice, support, guidance, health, and just building good relationships. At this time, I'm going to transition and allow Dr. Kim Carter to speak a little bit more about our timeline.
Hi, my name is Kim Carter, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about the Triumph timeline. There are several steps that we're taking to make sure that this program is successful and sustainable. We're currently in the training and development phase where we've partnered with Dr. Ernest Brothers, who's a University of Tennessee Knoxville professor and a nationally known speaker and researcher on the topic of mentorship training. He is going to be providing 3 sessions of mentorship training that will happen in October. They will be recorded though, so if you're not able to attend the live session, you can watch the recorded sessions. Next up is Educate and Enroll. We have met with several advisors at University of Tennessee Knoxville, as well as the Office of Career Development and the Office of Student Engagement, to pinpoint those student organizations where we will be able to capture students that are more than likely interested in the professions of PT, OT, and speech, and to talk to those organizations, more than likely virtually, about our program. We'll also launch an application at that time for students who are interested in the program to apply to be in the Triumph program. After the students are enrolled, we'll pair them with a mentor. And the mentor will be mentoring the mentee, the student, from January of 2021 through the application. Through our research and also with talking with advisors and students as well, we have identified several barriers to applying to PT, OT, or SLP school. And we have found that GRE, prep sessions would be advantageous, and so we have partnered with SASE to do this, as well as we plan to have interview prep sessions, essay prep session, and a CAS prep session. What CAS is, it is the web portal in which our applications are housed. After that, we're hoping our Triumph participants will apply for PT, OT, or speech school, and those applications, some applications open up in the fall and some in the winter. And then at the end, we plan to award a scholarship. We're not sure exactly how many scholarships we'll be able to award, but we know that we're going to do at least 1 PT, 1 OT, and 1 speech scholarship for a Triumph participant who was accepted into school. As I said in the last slide, we are going to have mentorship training conducted by Dr. Ernest Brothers. The dates are October 13th, 20th, and 27th, and they will be recorded if you're not able to attend the live session. We're hoping that our mentors can meet at least once a month with the Triumph participant that they have been matched with, virtually, or if possible, in person. We will be sending you information about upcoming events in the Triumph program, for example, the GRE Prep, which we'll be sending this information to the Triumph participant, but we'll also be sending it to you so that you could maybe also communicate that to your mentee, whether that's through a text or through an email. Another thing that we would ask is that you communicate with us. We're going to have a form or an email that you can fill out, that you communicate us what kinds of things that you're talking about with your mentor. Not personal things, but if you find that if there's a struggle or a barrier that they have and we're not addressing, we would like for you to share that with us. If we are able to all meet in person, we're hoping to have social mixers or quarterly or biannual meetings so that we could meet. The Triumph leadership team can meet with the mentors and even with the Triumph participants as well. If not, we will be doing those things through a Zoom meeting. Some of the benefits of participation in being a mentor are we are going to give you a UT email account, and that will give you access to all the online resources associated with that, including access to the library. We would love for you to be a part of our admission interviews. We're going to be featuring all of our mentors on our website and newsletter. If you need a certificate of CEUs, we'll be happy to provide that. Or if you need any type of professional activity hours, maybe for a certification or for something at your workplace, we'll be happy to put that certificate form or put it in whatever official letter that you need so that you can receive credit. And we hope that you see this as an opportunity to give back and paying forward. Thank you very much. We are now going to move on to talk about our long-term goals of this project.
So as you can tell, we have a lot of goals for our current project, but we also have some goals that will take us into the longer term. Namely, we have two primary goals. One is for longevity and sustainability of the work that we're putting into the current project. Obviously, we understand that the effects of our efforts with this current project are not going to produce meaningful change in the compositions of our fields. That's just not possible in a year or two. So what we would really like to do, and what we are committed to doing, is to continue our effort and work in this area into the future. We are going to do this by seeking further funding. We are hoping to recruit, we're hoping to secure further funding that will allow us to recruit more people from underrepresented groups. We would like to have people from underrepresented groups help us both as mentors, but also as part of our team, because we know that as we grow this effort, as we continue this effort into the future, our team is going to need to grow in order for our effects to have meaningful contribution and impact on our fields. Our second goal is to expand our program and to be able to replicate it in other disciplines and other fields across the UT system. We'd like to partner with professionals in other colleges within the University of Tennessee Health Science Center system, as well as more broadly within the University of Tennessee, to be able to replicate our process and hopefully to increase the enrollment of students from underrepresented minorities in other professions, including the professions of health that we represent in this core group.
Let's think about questions that you or others may have about this program. How many mentees will be assigned to each mentor? In the first year, we'll have 10 slots open for prospective students. So the ratio of mentor to mentee depends on how many mentors we have. We're hoping to have enough for the ratio to be 1-to-1 or maybe 2 mentees for every mentor. What's the process like for students who want to get into the program? There will be an application process for enrollment. Right now, we're targeting students who are in their sophomore year, transitioning into their junior year of undergraduate studies because our funding is for 2 years. How often do the mentor and mentee meet? Do they meet during the workday? Do they meet in person or virtually? The answer to these three questions is it depends. It's up to the discretion and the preference or availability of each mentor-mentee team. How much experience does a person need to have before they're ready to be a mentor? Experience among mentors is going to vary. Someone who is a more recent graduate will have a good deal of knowledge about the process of preparing to apply and the application process. So they would be qualified to serve as a mentor. Conversely, someone who is a more seasoned practitioner will have experience in that way to share with a mentee. Is someone who wasn't a straight A student or class president likely to be a good mentor? The answer to this is yes. We are looking for people from an array of backgrounds and lived experiences to serve as mentors in this program. And we believe that everybody has something that's valid and helpful to share as long as they are committed to participating fully in this program.
We recognize that without a more diverse group of practitioners, we cannot meet the healthcare needs of the patients that we serve. You have heard from my colleagues how we developed our project for the purpose of recruiting more students from underrepresented minority groups into our 3 programs. Strong mentorship is the key to recruiting these students, and we need you to assist us. On behalf of our team, I thank you for your interest in mentoring and we are hopeful that you will join us in mentoring these students. Remember that virtual mentor training is scheduled on Tuesdays, October 13, 20, and 27 at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and we plan to enroll students in Triumph beginning in January 2021. Please share this information with friends who may be interested. You may volunteer for mentoring at the bit.ly link that's shown on this slide. If you have questions or want more information, you can reach out to anyone on the team by way of the Triumph email address above. That's triumph@live.utk.edu. We hope to hear from you soon.